you ever wondered about some of the mysteries in life? Like, how does a tadpole change into a frog? Or how does a tiny little seed grow into a plant? It's great, isn't it, when we go to school and we can start to understand something of how these things happen. But even so, sometimes we just don't understand it all. Like, I know that the sun and the rain meet together to make a rainbow, but I don't exactly understand how that happens. It's a mystery. We've been thinking, haven't we, about Paul writing to his friends, the Christians in Ephesus, and he's talking today about the mystery of God. And he says that there's a mystery in the way that Christians who believe in God are united together. We were thinking last week, weren't we, about how all people who believe in Jesus are united into one family, the church. But Paul says that this is a bit of a mystery. Now, Paul's friends were people who had only just started to believe in Jesus, and they hadn't been used to going to the church or the temple as it was known back then. Believing in God was something completely new to them. But there were other Christians who believed in Jesus who had always believed in God because their families were part of God's people, what we call the Jews. They were used to going to the temple, they were used to believing in God. And Paul wanted to reassure his new friends that although they hadn't known God for as long as the Jews had, that God loved them just as much as God loved the Jews, the people who had always believed in him. So this was like a mystery. It was a secret truth that God had given to Paul, and he wanted Paul to make it known to the new Christians. And he said that the way that this mystery was being revealed was through Jesus dying on the cross and coming back to life again. And Paul tells us that he believed that God had chosen him to be God's servant. He was specially called by God to explain this mystery to the people who hadn't always known about God. So was Paul some really special, important, clever person that God had chosen him to do this? Well, no. In fact, Paul says he was really like the least important of all the Christians. But Paul understood that it was God who was giving him the grace and the power and the understanding that he needed to understand everything that had happened about Jesus dying and coming back to life, and that was a special message that God was giving him to share with his friends who hadn't previously understood any of it. Maybe you're a little bit like Paul's friends. You're just starting to understand some of the mysteries of Jesus and some of the mysteries of who God is. But you don't understand it all. Well, neither do I. And Paul says that we will never fully understand the mystery of who God is because he's God. So it's okay if we understand the basics of what Jesus has done without fully understanding who God is. It's a little bit like me understanding that you need the sun and you need the rain to make the rainbow. I don't understand how it happens, but I still believe the rainbow exists. It's still obvious that it's there. So if you are just starting to understand this amazing mystery, then keep asking the questions, but keep trusting and start trusting as well. And if you already know some of the mysteries of God, then maybe God is calling you to share that mystery with your friends, just like he asked Paul to share it with his friends. You see, God doesn't use special people to share his love. He uses ordinary people like you and me, because God makes it really clear that he wants everybody to understand who he is and the wonderful things that he has done for us through Jesus' death and his resurrection. So keep asking the questions, but most importantly this week, have a think about who you can share the mystery of God with.